All right, we're live. So welcome back to Dapp University. So today I'm going to talk about a report that predicts a pretty bright future ahead for cryptocurrency and some things that can actually move the needle to push this space forward. Because I know a lot of people are discouraged about the slump that we've been in with cryptocurrency prices right now. Well, if you've been watching this channel, you know that I've been talking about some amazing technological innovations that are happening right now despite what's going on with the price that can definitely move the needle in terms of fundamentals for this space. But I also want to talk about some things that can actually help the cryptocurrency prices long term too, in addition to these technological advancements. We're going to look at those. We're going to look at a lot of the news updates that have happened in the space since our live stream yesterday. Again, we do these live streams Monday through Friday on this channel. Just turn on notifications, subscribe to the channel. You'll find out about those whenever we go live. And look at the crypto markets and a lot more. So if you're around here, hey, I'm Gregory, and on this channel, I turn you into a blockchain master. So if that's something that you're interested in, then smash that like button down below for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to this channel. And if you want to learn how to become a blockchain master step by step, start to finish, then head on over to dappuniversity.com/bootcamp to get started today. So we got people jumping in the chat here. We got Automatic Beats, Culture Hives, Arlie. I hope I'm saying that right, by the way. We'll probably have some more people jump in here in a minute. I'll issue some more greetings as the chat starts to fill up. So let's go ahead and jump into our first topic of discussion today. Again, we're going to look at a lot of different things. But the thing I wanted to begin with is something that's predicts a pretty bright future for crypto assets or digital assets on the whole in the coming years. Okay. So at the beginning of this year, we saw cryptocurrency prices absolutely explode, right? And then we're kind of in this cool-off period right now. And one of the big themes of this was institutional adoption of cryptocurrency. We saw Tesla buy $1.5 billion of cryptocurrency for their balance sheet. We've seen MicroStrategy kind of at the front lines evangelizing Bitcoin as a corporate treasury asset. Lots of different ways for institutions to participate in cryptocurrencies. And we talk about how institutional participation can be such a big deal for adoption of cryptocurrencies because when they buy, they're typically buying in much larger size than retail investors like you or I could, and that has the capacity to move the needle way more because you only need a handful of institutions to really participate and buy it that way to have a pretty significant impact on the price of cryptocurrencies. So I want to bring up this report here today. And so before I bring the report, one thing that I've seen, one sentiment that I've kind of seen floating around right now is like, hey, there's no way that institutions are going to, like institutional interest is drying up because price has fallen, all this type of stuff. Well, long term, I really don't think that's true. And long term, I really do think that, that institutional participation in cryptocurrencies can be a big deal. And so the report I want to bring up to you today is from Fidelity here. All right, so this is Fidelity Digital Assets. This is not just like some, cryptocurrency, publication website that likes to just continually publish hopium for the space. So this Fidelity Digital Assets report shows vast majority of institutions will own crypto by 2026. All right. So we can dig into this more. They're basically saying a survey from Fidelity Digital Assets found that 90% of institutional investors plan to own crypto by 2026. Okay, 90%. So I don't have the methodology for this survey. I can't really pick apart the data to verify the complete integrity of this, but like if we just look at this at face value, and if it's even close to true, that's absolutely insane. And so sometimes, of course, people's stated actions versus what they actually end up doing can differ. But if this is even close to true, I mean that's massive. That's a huge difference compared to what we have today. And so one thing to think about one thing you have to think about institutional participation is I think people had some pretty false expectations at the beginning of this year, when we were in the middle of this super manic phase for the bull run that like institutions were just going to pile in left and right, like next day, we'd find out about some new, company buying Bitcoin, their balance sheet. So some institutions can do that, but a vast majority of them have to make these decisions very slowly. Okay. Most institutions don't just like wake up and then like the next day make a major decision like this. Okay. A lot of them have a lot of process they have to go through. There's lots of different people that have to get involved in making these decisions because they're usually not just one person there who's in charge of the checkbook, just like writing checks and buying Bitcoin, and they're not exactly just like creating Coinbase accounts and going there and loading up and keeping it in their digital wallet. They typically buy through different means. They're typically not buying on crypto exchanges. We're talking about OTC desks, getting exposure to this thing through trusts or things like that, right? So it's, I guess what I'm saying is institutions can move the needle over time because they're going to probably pile in more slowly, all right? And you could see this thing where you have an inflection point later on where a critical mass of them actually get involved because of, but it's going to have this delayed effect, okay? And if this report's anywhere close to true, that I could see that inflection point, that tipping point happening, sometime later. But definitely within the coming years, this could be a big deal for crypto. And then today, I talk about, somebody asked me in the live stream yesterday, why do you use crypto in the first place? Well, we saw the report about Visa prior this year, but also MasterCard, settling payments for USDC, or with USDC, the old rails under the hood. And so I think a lot of institutions who are connected to the financial world are also seeing the benefits of crypto, stable coins, all that type of stuff, DeFi, for improving our current financial infrastructure. And those can be selling points in addition to just the price appreciation of crypto as a store of value, all that type of stuff long term. So long term, I definitely I'm excited about this. I think that the report seems accurate to me at face value. We got people jumping in the chat here, so we got questions. So well on our way. Awesome. So let's go ahead and actually take a look at the cryptocurrency prices, kind of see what's happened since we were on our stream yesterday. So Bitcoin had a pretty crazy day yesterday. I tweeted this last night at the end of the day that basically, Bitcoin had nearly been a stable coin for 24 hours. I mean, the price had such little volatility. It was absolutely insane. Like maybe a few $100 at the $29,500-ish level. It was nuts. Pretty boring day for Bitcoin. But let's take a look at where we are now. Of course, we've seen a move. All right, let's see here. Let's just check the index here. All right, so we do see a nice green candle on Bitcoin, okay, which is, some short-term hope here that, we're not just going to instantly plummet through $29,000 all the way down to $20,000 or anything like that. I've been saying in the videos this past week or so, that definitely times to be careful and set your expectations that things could get worse for crypto. I'm definitely not in the camp that we're just going to have this V-shaped recovery, that, we're just going to be back, to how things were going in, March, April up only mode. It's going to take some time for us to recover, in my opinion. And we don't exactly know where the bottom of this bearish trend is. I mean, because this is a bear trend, right? So basically, we saw the price kind of tank here, saw a lower low, and then here's another low. So what would I look for before I started getting too excited? Well, I've been saying this in the videos, but I'll repeat it in case you haven't been watching, which is I want to see us get above these moving averages, because right now we're using them as resistance. All right. We see basically bounce off these long-term moving averages. The current price performance is underperforming history, so that means it's in a bear trend. And so I would like to see, things kind of reverse course before I get too excited. So one thing, honestly, what will probably happen is we'll see some consolidation in this level, if that does happen, and that's the first thing I'd watch out for. So, while it's awesome to see this green candle, I mean, we've seen these pretty big green candles in the past before, we just make a lower low. Seen a nice big green candle, and then it loses steam, we make a lower low. So, it could be weeks, before this happens again. This was, June 25th, last time this kind of happened, and then here we are at July 20th, so almost a month later. So it could be another scenario where we try to go up, and then a month later, we're back down. So I want to see us go up, and then hold some critical levels, and then go up, you know what I mean, that type of thing. So we can check on the Ether price as well. So Ether price, same story. Crypto markets all pretty correlated right now. You're seeing a nice green candle here, but same story. I want to see us reclaim some of these moving averages, start outperforming the past performance, see a clear trend reversal. Same story. Okay, so let's look at a couple other things here. Of course, we do have a lot of amazing things coming up down the pike for ETH. We do have EIP-1559 going live on August 4th, I believe is the date. I have something to watch out for. That's just in a couple short weeks, I believe. Let's see here. I saw this come out. This is something that's kind of just for fun, but hey, it might actually be worth something. We'll find out. So we have a new NFT actually to commemorate the EIP-1559 launch on Ethereum. Okay, so basically you can get your EIP-1559 commemorative non-fungible token. It looks like these are starting to sell. So I don't know if it's something that you're interested in. Maybe now's the time to get it. I mean, if you want to pay $300 for a JPEG about 1559, let's see. It's pretty cool. I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, I know some people will be like, hey, I'm not spending money on that. But it's one of those things where NFTs are at a pretty big trend right now compared to altcoins and other crypto markets. We've seen a lot of NFTs appreciate in price as far as doing the NFT masterclass next week. Because a lot of people ask me about this, and we have this big demand surge right now for NFTs, and people want to know how to jump on the opportunity. So I figured I would just show that. I saw that floating around this morning, and hey, they might sell out in a few hours. One thing, we're talking about institutional adoption of cryptocurrencies and kind of what's happening, down the pike in that regard, and how our institutions feeling about Bitcoin right now. We did see more news that Cathie Wood, Ark Invest, adds Bitcoin exposure again by buying $10 million worth of Grayscale shares this week. Okay, and that was yesterday, I believe. So asset management firm Ark Invest purchased another 310,000 shares of Grayscale Bitcoin Trust on Monday. Okay, so it's Monday. For its Ark Next Generation Internet ETF at $25 per share. Cathie Wood, Ark Invest, been big Bitcoin bulls. We've seen them buy the dip, and so they're making the bet that now is a buying opportunity for them. So another cool thing I saw yesterday, if you've been watching the live streams, we talked about how basically BlockFi is kind of getting some hot water with New Jersey. So saw the news story a couple days ago where, if you're familiar with BlockFi, basically it's a crypto exchange and savings and lending platform. It's a centralized solution where you can deposit cryptocurrency, earn passive income. You can basically get a yield on top of the cryptocurrency deposit. So maybe you get like 6% on the crypto you deposit and keep inside the application. But they kind of got in some hot water with New Jersey. Basically said, hey, like, you can't register new users in New Jersey after a certain date. People kind of got panic fear that this is the beginning of a regulatory crackdown for crypto. We're getting more clarity on what's going on there. But one thing that I'd see yesterday pop up was competitor application Blockfolio saying you can earn up to 8% APY on all your fiat and crypto inside their application. So if you use Blockfolio, it's not a sponsored video or anything like that. I'm not necessarily recommending that you do this. I'm just showing a new option that I saw here. So you can earn 8% APY on basically any asset that's in the app. So Bitcoin 8%, ETH 8%, dollars 8%, Solana, and Dogecoin. All right, simply by opting in and keeping your funds in your Blockfolio account, you'll be eligible to earn 8%. So I've always talked about savings and lending and crypto being a killer application that can really, spawn mass adoption. And I've really tried to focus on the DeFi side of things because I'm, just big on DeFi. I think it's awesome. You could even build centralized solutions that use DeFi on the back end. But I think this is proof that thesis is correct because you see more and more crypto products offering these yield to their customers. Even if they're not doing it in a decentralized way, even if they're just doing, manual. Even if they're just using your money on the back end through more manual means like a bank is, there's clear demand for the end user to have to earn yield on assets that they're just holding long term. So another thing I saw yesterday, a trend that we've been discussing on this channel is basically decentralized autonomous organizations, or DAOs. Okay. And what are these? Well, basically, these are trying to define it without using the word itself. Decentralized autonomous organization. So it's an entity, like a company or a nonprofit, whatever, that's on the blockchain, but it's actually represented by smart contracts and it's governed by smart contracts, I guess, is the important thing. So we've seen different use cases for DAOs, like treasury management, where people can vote on how funds are used. We're scratching the surface for what's possible with DAOs, but we've seen lots of innovations happen or lots of advancements happen where DAOs have become recognized legal entities in places like Wyoming, like LLCs. Just about how this is big, where DAOs could potentially own property or something like that. But we've seen Shapeshift, the crypto exchange, move towards becoming a DAO. But yesterday we saw news that MakerDAO, okay, one of the OGs in the space, is actually moving towards full decentralization. So let me pull this up on my screen here. So right now, MakerDAO has been governed by the MakerDAO Foundation. This is pretty common in crypto projects, where you have a foundation that's responsible for a project, and then you have the project itself as sort of this separate entity. But right now, what we're seeing is MakerDAO moving towards full decentralization, closing the foundation in months. All right. So the original DeFi application protocol started out decentralized, and to decentralization will it return. So MakerDAO Foundation has announced it's turning over its operations entirely to its decentralized autonomous organization, a DAO. So MakerDAO founder Rune has long promised. Basically, they've been playing this for a long time, and it's finally happening. And I think we're seeing this trend. We saw Shapeshift do it. We've seen lots of other DeFi applications do it. MakerDAO is doing it as they've promised, and I don't think they'll be the last. And I expect to see this more and more and more down the pike. And I expect us to see more about what's possible with DAOs. I think it's definitely a trend we have to watch out for long term, because ultimately they change how people can coordinate online. So speaking of DAOs and Shapeshift, I did see this come up yesterday as well, about their Airdrop. Let's just pull it up here. So if you've been a Shapeshift user, or you've met some requirements, then you might be eligible for the Fox Airdrop. Okay, so this is a good chance for you to get some free money here. You can just check this out. Just Google Shapeshift Airdrop. And I'm sure you'll find all the information about it. But basically, you can just connect your crypto wallet, check to see if you're eligible, or you can just paste it in here, and it'll determine whether you're eligible to claim your free money with their Fox Airdrop. So we've seen this happen a lot with different crypto projects. Like if you've been a user, they'll retroactively drop you coins. I mean, I made a video on this last year when the Uniswap did it, like the Uni token launched. And I mean, I can't remember how much I got. It was a lot just because I'd used it with multiple wallets. And for each wallet that I used it with, I was dropped a bunch of Uni tokens. And as the price went up long term, that amount increased significantly. So airdrops are pretty crazy. They can make everything worth your time in crypto, especially for a lot of new people. And crypto's so crazy about what it can do for financial incentives. Because we see all these different ways for people to get paid to contribute to the ecosystem. We've got, Gitcoin. We've got, if you know what Gitcoin is, basically it's a way where you can fund grants. So if a community sees a need and says hey, we want this built, or you see a need and you say, hey, community, I want to build this. A lot of times people just fund you to build it if they think the ecosystem really needs it. And that comes to the conversation of public goods. And so we had this, we had this blog post come up yesterday from Optimism. It's a layer 2 scaling solution that's launching on top of Ethereum. It's already launched. It's in sort of the whitelisted phase. We have Uniswap version 3 running on top of it already. I actually did the demo about it. Go check out my YouTube feed. You can watch that, see how fast it is and inexpensive compared to Ethereum. But the Optimism team's been talking about, retroactive public goods funding. And this has a guest appearance by Vitalik Buterin on here. But basically, we're rewarding people who have built things, retroactively to this type of thing. And so this is opening up a world of new possibilities where you can just get paid, to kind of work for the internet. Okay, so crypto is really changing everybody's categories. You know what I mean? Like we have these decentralized autonomous organizations, where you can basically run an autonomous entity where multiple people coordinate and have voting rights with smart contracts. But you also have this future where you would just be like a solo independent freelancer or a team or something like that, and you just sort of work for the internet to build public goods. You don't necessarily have just like a boss where you work at a company. It's totally changing categories. Yeah, totally. Somebody says, wouldn't posting your wallet be a bad idea if they were talking about the airdrop? So you have to check about what the forum's doing. I mean, it's the Shapeshift website. You can just connect your wallet with MetaMask as long as you're not you don't want to post your private key or anything like that. Somebody says software contractors work this way now. Now, I know what you mean, but the difference is you're not necessarily just dealing with clients, right? Like you're dealing with, like you just have, like if you can work on basically bounties, you can work on these types of grants, it still changes the dynamic. And of course, we are seeing lots of funding coming into space still. The crypto valuations are sky high right now. Talk about some of these that I saw come up yesterday. So OpenSea, the NFT platform for basically buying and selling NFTs, the open marketplace, hits $1.5 billion valuation. So I remember when OpenSea first started, and it did not look like it does today. And it does not have anywhere near the volume that it does today, and we did not have the same NFT hype that we have today. So it's crazy to watch that entire journey take off, and now they're worth $1.5 billion, and they just raised a lot of money. Similarly, FTX, so the crypto exchange, closes $900 million round with an $18 billion valuation. Okay. So I talked about some of my live streams the other day, basically that, the smart money, especially from the venture capital side of things, knows exactly how crazy the future is for this technology, and they are investing furiously in projects who are building out in this space. So that's a really good news for you. If you've been watching this channel, and you want to take advantage of crypto in this way. So I've talked a ton on this channel. I'll repeat this idea because I think it falls on deaf ears in a bull market for sure. The best way to make long-term wealth in crypto, in my opinion, for most people, is just by working in crypto, because for lots of reasons. I think a lot of people who are coming into crypto to make money, they're trying to make life-changing money, so they can pay off debt, so they can buy a house, they can do whatever their financial goals are. But a lot of those goals can really be accomplished by just like fixing your cash flow problem and making a lot more money on a monthly basis than you currently do. And for a vast majority of people, that problem can be fixed basically by working in blockchain. It's one of the highest paying fields in tech. And the demand is off the charts for people who have blockchain skills. And it's about to get a lot crazier with these basically sky-high valuations and all this funding, because what's the number one thing that they're going to do whenever they get all this money? They're going to hire more people. Okay, they're probably going to go on a hiring spree. Now, some people might choose to spend the money differently, but anybody who is really trying to grow aggressively, they're going to hire more people. And so that's good news for you if you're trying to get into the industry or you're already in the industry and want a better opportunity. Demand is just going to get crazier and crazier and crazier. And also when you work in crypto, like when you're in it full time, you're not just like kind of on the sides observing what's happening. You're going to have a huge informational advantage to find out about projects before everybody else does. You're going to get all the benefits of sort of that immersion that most people who are just kind of casually participating on the internet are not going to get. And if you're here right now watching this video, after the hype has died down, after the prices have fallen like crazy, 50% plus, then you have a huge edge because right now you're here with people who are serious about this and are playing this game for the long term and want the real opportunities, because the real opportunities come when nobody's watching, right? Like I was buying ETH and Bitcoin when nobody was watching in 2019 and 2020, right? You know what I mean? Before anybody cared about it. And, here we are today, even though we're 50% away from our all-time highs, like it's still up significantly. So same type of thing with your career. I mean, I was doubling down, learning blockchain skills in 2017, 2018. You know what I mean? It's like now I have 4 years of Solidity experience. Like hardly anybody on the face of the earth has that much experience. And so if you can create that kind of position for yourself, you can be super valuable in the marketplace. So let's see here. So boomers, like, as a question in the chat. So boomers like me are complaining that crypto are not used as much in real world, basically pay for goods. Is there a wallet with is there a wallet with whatever cryptos you owe that let you pay for goods like Google Pay? So I think the closest thing what you're talking about is like a crypto-based credit card. We talked yesterday about MasterCard launching a program for this where basically you can hold crypto and then you pay with the card, and it actually uses USDC, uses blockchain rails to settle the payments. That's probably the easiest way for you to spend your crypto in commercial applications. We'll see over time if we'll have to see over time how crypto gets integrated for consumer payments, point of sale type things like at a coffee shop, if you're buying clothes or something like that, at a brick and mortar business, at a restaurant. I don't think that's honestly going to be one of the fastest ways that we see the adoption. I think the faster ways are improving sort of the financial rails, and basically how we transfer large amounts of money between businesses in particular. I think that's probably going to be one of the first things that gets a pretty big overall, because it already is, you know what I mean? So this is what project would get me a job in crypto? Just build a real world project. If you want a simple answer, build a decentralized cryptocurrency exchange from scratch. That's what I tried to do inside the bootcamp, but you could take that project and then build on top of it, and then you'd have like a real world portfolio piece. So how do I learn flash loans? So we do the flash loan masterclass from time to time. We have the replay link available for that inside the blockchain mastery program. If you join the NFT masterclass next week when we do that, and you do the membership option, you'll get access to all the flash loan content and replays. Okay, let's see here. Somebody says, I'm still too scared to invest time on learning blockchain dev and end up in a dead industry. So I can tell you this much. Blockchain is not going anywhere. Trust me, if anybody had the right to be scared about the state of blockchain, it was us in 2018, right? When basically cryptocurrency prices were falling and falling and falling, and we had hardly any technical fundamentals in the space. Like we had cryptocurrency, we had Bitcoin, we had Ethereum, we had all these other coins, a lot of them basically gone to zero. We had smart contracts. DeFi was an idea in a lot of people's heads, but we didn't have really concrete apps with real users. I mean, we had MakerDAO kind of coming on the scene. We had some other projects that were, implementing things. We had a lot of ideas. We didn't have real products. Okay, so that was a time to be scared about crypto, but that was a time that I doubled down and got good at everything when nobody cared and when there was high risk. And I had some mentors who were like, yeah, hey, look, this is Pandora's box situation where it's like this Pandora's been let out of the box. There's no putting it back in. We don't know exactly what the future's going to hold, but there's no way this is dead or it's going to die off completely. And lo and behold, DeFi exploded. We have, the explosion that we have today. Just like I was showing you a second ago, we have venture capital pouring billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars into this space because they know where it's headed. So that's the sign of a growing industry, not a dying industry. So we have to look at those fundamentals to understand that there's a ton of opportunity that is not going away. Somebody says I'd be more scared to go to college. All right, everybody, that's all I got for today. As always, smash that like button down below. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. That really helps these videos out so the more people learn about blockchain. If you're as fascinated with this technology as I am, you want to get your hands dirty, how can you get started today? You go to my YouTube homepage. You find my free courses there. They're like EIP courses, but they're totally free. And if you like those and you want to take the next step, or hey, maybe you want to take a massive shortcut entirely. You can actually become a blockchain master step-by-step, start to finish, over at dappuniversity.com/bootcamp. You don't have to be an expert to get started today. I've helped people with zero coding experience become real-world blockchain developers in a matter of months. So that's all I've got. Until next time, thanks for watching Dapp